Alright guys, so in today's video, just like the thumbnail said, we're going to go over 3 of the top meta teams that I am currently using in order to climb inside of the arena right now. And as you guys can see, I am top 580th place inside of Pure Vanilla server in Grandmaster 3. And I gotta say, these teams that I'm going to share with you guys have been working really well, going over about 75 to 80% win rate. And the third team I'm going to share with you guys is going to be a surprise return of a cookie that died out last season, but now has returned because of Pure Vanilla cookie. So I would suggest you guys watch till the end and see which team counters what and what kind of topping set you want to use for them. So let's get into it first now, guys, and that is going to be the single tank comps. So there are going to be 2 variations of single tank comp right now, which is going to use Crimson Coral as well as Elder Fairy. A lot of people ask, hey HyRool, which one is going to be the better option? In my opinion, because of the fact that you do want to utilize a different team, if you had to choose between the 2, Elder Fairy might be a better option because of the fact that, if you guys didn't know, Crimson Coral needs to be by herself in order to actually utilize her skills. So she needs to be the only frontline tank in order for her skills to actually activate and become very powerful. However, with Elder Fairy, that is not the case, and if you had to choose, probably Elder Fairy is slightly a better option because of the variations that you're able to have with this cookie. So let me go quickly into the topping settings and what kind of teams I usually verse with this. But because of the fact that I already have videos on these guys, I am actually going to just link them down in the description and skip over the actual battle example. But let's get into it first. So you have 2 different options for Crimson Coral. It has changed a little bit because once you guys do climb, then you verse higher ranking players. So for me, I have Solid Almond because of the fact that my Crimson Coral was dying a little bit too quickly. But if your Crimson Coral is not, then going with Swift Chocolate is fine. For our Shadow Milk, it's going to be a full Raspberry build with damage resist bypass. And then we have our Golden Cheese with full Raspberry and damage resist focus on the Biscuit. And then we have Pure Vanilla this time around because of the fact that I do now finally have full damage resist liner on my Biscuit. I am going with the full Raspberry build, focusing on some extra attack, crit, cooldown, as well as attack speed. So that is going to be mine. And then with our Wind Archer, we are going to with a little bit of a different build here too, which is going to be 3 of the Swift Chocolate with 2 Raspberry this time around, focusing on full damage resist bypass for the Biscuit. And then we want to have at least 16.7% cooldown for a 1-second start. And then we have Elder Fairy as well. Elder Fairy does have a very high win rate here too. But for Elder Fairy, we are using a full Solid Almond. The reason why I'm going with it is because of the fact that my Elder Fairy tend to die off a little bit faster. Full Peanut is okay, but I like to go with the damage resist rather than going with a little bit more HP. And we have extra HP as well as cooldown with 2 at least HP subset on the Biscuit. Very important. And then we have our Shadow Milk. Shadow Milk goes 2 different builds here too. We have Swift Chocolate or Raspberry. Mainly I go with Raspberry. I was just testing out Swift Chocolate. Same thing as before. Golden Cheese, Pure Vanilla, and Wind Archer are all going to be using the same toppings as well. So these 2 comps are going to be very standard comp in my opinion for me. This comp is definitely used a little bit more amongst the players because, again, variations of comps with Elder Fairy is going to be available. If I had anything, I would especially go against the Insignia comp with the Coral. But now let's get into the actual teams that you haven't seen inside of my videos, and that is going to be the 2-1-2 comp that a lot of people have been asking me about, and that is going to be with Burning Spice, Elder Fairy, Shadow Milk, Wind Archer, as well as Pure Vanilla Awaken. So let's get into the topping. So first of all, Elder Fairy going to be using the same topping as before with the single tank comp. Burning Spice. For my build right now, I'm going with the 2-second start with the Burning Spice, having at least 7.5% cooldown. And then we went with damage resist and extra attack speed with some extra attack and crit percentage if possible. So this is going to be my topping with the full damage resist bypass on the Biscuit. And then on Shadow Milk, we are using the full on Raspberry again with damage resist bypass with some extra cooldown. We have the same build for Pure Vanilla and Wind Archer as well. Wind Archer does have that 1-second start. So this team, I usually go against 1-2-2 comp. So if I see any of these kind of comps where like the front is missing, and this kind of comp where front is missing, I usually could pull this one out. And all of the teams that I'm going to be showing you guys are going to be using the same treasure set. So let's get into the arena and let me show you guys this team in action as well. Alright guys, so we have a 1-2-2 comp. So we have the Insignia on the enemy team, so I tend to go with the Coral with this comp. But because this comp is still available against 1-2-2 comps that I usually verse, here we go guys. Let me show you guys this team in battle. Alright, here we go. So it is going to be a green team moose comp. So again, I shared with you guys yesterday inside of the tier list video that green team moose is still being used here and there along with like fettuccine, burnt burnt cheese and other taunts cookie as well. But you're going to be able to see we're going to really just out damage the enemies here with this comp. The 1 second start on the Wind Archer is very, very helpful because of the fact that you have the ability to stun the enemies really, really quickly, have the taunt come out from Elder Fairy, and then you're able to burst down the enemies as well. So this is going to be a very, very clean victory here with our Elder Fairy also coming back from Pure Vanilla's revive. No cookie dead. So this is going to be normally how it's going to be. Sometimes you're going to see a enemy 1 second start of Wind Archer as well. So when that happens, there are times when you do kind of lose. But again, there is no 100%. Like I said, it's around 75 to 80% win rate that I have. But you can see Burning Spice as well as Shadow Milk doing so much damage with Wind Archer just shooting arrow from the back with a bunch of healing. This actually was going to be a Mystic Flower. So I actually been seeing Mystic Flower as well here and there inside of the arena, which is honestly for me kind of surprising, but sometimes it does work, so just keep that in mind. All right, guys, so this one is gonna be a vial with the necklace 1 tank comp, so let's go up against it. All right, so this one is gonna be the Elder Fairy comp. We have a 1 second start Wind Archer. It does look like they don't have a 1 second start Wind Archer on the enemy team. It's not common to have a 1 second start in the defense side of things, it seems like, but again, sometimes there are, so just keep that in mind. And when you do, usually the skill rotation of your team is very, very good. And you will see where like around the 1 minute mark, Elder Fairy will die. And then again, come back, have that taunt come out, and allow your Pure Vanilla to heal again. And then you still have Burning Spice as well as Shadow Milk to do a lot of damage from, you know, their revives, Immortality as well. Once that 30-second start comes in. And there you guys go. So we have that victory. So again, you're going to see these 2 cookies are really, really going to be the ones to do a lot of damage, especially because Immortality, you have a lot of damage being taken by these 3 cookies, still tanking a lot, Pure Vanilla healing so much. And that 1 second start is really going to help out for us because of the fact that we stun them first and then we're able to use our skill rotation. So again, this comp is usually what I use against 1-2-2s. So again, around 70 to 80% win rate is what I have. But again, you definitely want to test these teams out before you guys go into it. But this is going to be the 3rd comp that I have been using. And this is a comp that I actually found out today by one of the Korean player, Nurimer. And this comp is honestly really, really good. There are 2 variations of it. And this comp can actually be used to fight all of the teams right now inside of the arena. For me, however, it's not really working out too well against 1-2 comps. So that's the reason why I'm using this comp to, you know, take the place of the 1 tank comp counter variation of this. But let's get into the topping. First of all, Burning Spice is going to have that 2 second start with the 7.5% at least on the cooldown with damage resist bypass. For Shadow Milk, we are using a full Raspberry build again with the damage resist bypass. If you do want to try and use this against 1-2 comps, 1 tank comps, then you actually are going to be using a full Swift Chocolate to have a 1 second start. However, for me, I only go up against 2-1-2 comps, so that's the reason why I'm going with Raspberry. Pure Vanilla, Wind Archer are going to be the same. And then for Cream Ferret, it's going to be a little bit of a different build, and that's going to be with the full Raspberry build. And you can see right over here, no damage resist. And the reason why is because of the fact that we actually do have a revive coming out from Pure Vanilla. So in case Cream Ferret does die, then you are able to utilize Pure Vanilla to revive Cream Ferret. Cream Ferret is able to latch onto your cookies and then also survive that way, heal and buff up the team. But there is also going to be times when Cream Ferret is actually not even going to die because of the fact that you have Wind Archer with the 1 second start to stun the enemies, and then you're able to go and utilize the skill. So we have a full attack, crit, and cooldown focus, and the biscuit is going to be all on the cooldown. So cooldown as much as possible, and then attack and crit are going to increase the overall healing from Cream Ferret. And the treasures are going to be the same, and this comp is going to counter teams like this, the 2-1-2 comps. So here we go, let's get into the battle. Alright guys, so we have a 2-1-2 comp here, so let's go and verse it with the Cream Ferret. Alright, here we go guys. So, you know, Cream Ferret was not used last season because of the fact that our Shadow Milk was the one to one-shot Cream Ferret most of the time. However, because of the fact that now you have someone like Pure Vanilla who is able to revive Cream Ferret, or even revive himself if he has to, when he dies. Now you are able to utilize someone like Cream Ferret again, because if Cream Ferret does die off, right, then Cream Ferret is able to use the skill latch onto one of your cookies, heal, and buff up your team as well. Again, it's not a 100% win rate. I don't think there is much of a 100% win rate team anymore, but it's a great counter to a lot of the 2-1-2 comps. And also, if you guys do want to try it out against the 1-2-2 comps, which Dreamer did say that you can use the Swift Chocolate build for Shadow Milk to utilize the quick puppet show and then immobilize one of the enemies as well. So here you go, guys. You guys can see a ton of healing coming out from both our Pure Vanilla as well as Cream Ferret here. Mine's 4-star promotion. We have our Wind Archer as well as Shadow Milk with Burning Spice doing a ton of damage, and you were able to see it was a pretty clean victory right there. So again, guys, these are gonna be my 3.5 team, I guess, that I am currently using inside of the arena. Mainly I am utilizing this one and this one, but again, this comp is gonna be for most of the 1-2-2 comps. This comp is gonna be utilized against most of the 2-1-2 comps or 2-2-1 comps you might see once in a while. And then these two comps are going to be for like anytime I don't know, as well as Insignia for the Coral comp. Elder Fairy is kind of like the standard comp that we have going on right now. But those are going to be the 3 comps that I have for you guys. Again, the variation for this one to verse 1-2, if you want to just utilize one team, is going to be you're using Swift Chocolate instead of the Raspberry. Again, for me, it wasn't working out too well, so I started to just use 2-1-2 comp. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found the video helpful. Again, there is no 100% win rate. For me, it's about 75 to 80%, and that's usually good enough for you guys to actually start climbing inside of the arena. So keep that in mind. And right now, after the video, I am in 466th place. So hope you guys are able to utilize this comp to climb. We still have 19 days, so a lot of things can still change, but it most likely will stay with these particular teams and cookies that we have that are being used inside of the meta currently. So good luck with the climbing. If you guys have any question, please leave it down in the comments below. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.